Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for patch 1 of update 114 of hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. We're going to start as always with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we just finished a huge update, and so what I usually like to do right after a huge update is just like do some toys, have a chill week, implement some guns, yada yada yada. And this week is double special for me because I'm doing one of my favorite things to do as an indie dev, which is do cool collabs with other indie devs. And so this week's update is all about a number of guns from a game coming out Monday called SULFUR that I'm crazy excited about. So if you haven't seen SULFUR, it's an action roguelite with sort of a bit of extraction shooter vibes to it that has wonderful and wacky guns in it that have an illustrative, almost sort of like 2D sprite vibe to them. And I was like, man, it'd be cool to see what those feel like in VR in 3D. And so I present to you the first of them. This is the Dirk 38. This is the starting pistol in that game. I have implemented these in sort of a fun mixed way in that they are still shooting real H3 rounds. So this is 38 ACP. Just love the vibes of this little thing. Let's take some shots. Not bad, not bad. Getting a good group with that. One of the best parts about like sort of illustrative guns is that because they tend to have like really overpronounced irons, because everything about their sort of dimension and aesthetic is, you know, a little overpronounced, super high clarity to aim with. Granted, because I'm just sort of using their stock model, I don't actually know what this is zeroed for, if anything, but at the very least, pretty good to get consistent things with. Also, I don't know about you, but like, this just looks like a mouth to me. That's just, yeah. Whatever. Moving on to the next one. I give you the Balthazar, one of the most ridiculous revolvers I think I've seen in a game. You might already be like, wait a minute, something's wrong. Where's the cylinder? Wait, don't tell me. That's right. This is a revolver with a cylinder that spins on the x-axis instead of the z-axis. Yoink! That's right. We'll aim it. Make sure we're still aimed down range, so that way when we cock the hammer, it rotates back and fires a single round up in there. Four shots. And then when we're out, we flip that up and we just go, wha, like that. This actually, the only reason that I was able to implement this efficiently is that I already had the code in place to do this sort of like quasi-removable cylinder revolver because this is how the OTS-38 works, which that uses a moon clip because it has rimless rounds. So I basically use the same code path to be able to do this. So if you're a modder and you want to do a double action revolver that has a removable cylinder, you can look at how I implemented this as a reference. Once again, also pretty good sights, all said and told. Maybe a little wide on the back, but yeah, no, 8.5. I'll take it. Yoink! Moving right along. Next up, we have the Arbiter 2. This is I love this little piece because this is a firm example of the way in which like view models in flat games and non-VR games can lie to us. The Arbiter 2 in SULFUR, because it's this 3-shot shotgun and how it's positioned on screen, feels huge. Like it feels like it's like up here, it's enormous, it's a shotgun, it's this big beefy thing. But then when you actually just scale it relative to shotgun shells, it's closer to the size. It's more like it's a very angry shotgun pistol with 3 shots. We're gonna wave our hand by it to cock the hammer. Yoink, like so. Helps to aim first, Anton. Oh, as the range safety officer is like, that wasn't even close. There we go. It's a shotgun, so who needs sights? Just aim generally in the direction of your enemy. There we go! We hit the dark part of the circle. I knew we could do it. I believed in us. One more for good measure. Oh, too much fun. And now last in this set of 4 sulfurous guns, the most ridiculous one. I had way too much fun implementing this one. I give you the Ferryman. That's right. If you've ever looked at a P90 and were like, man, I wonder what that would be like if it were in 50 BMG. Congratulations, you sicko. I have something for sickos like you and me. It's got the chamber. We got this like little viewing port to the chamber there. You can see that's there. The ejection port's there. And this ridiculous sideways sight. Where I got clear the target. This is shall we say, not the most effective sight on the planet. Let's see if we line it up right like there. We're shooting far to the left, so we want to aim here. Better. I believe in us. Okay, maybe I don't believe in us. We got some 8s. Good enough. And of course you're like, but it's a personal defense weapon, right? Well, I actually put this in the support category because it's firing 50 BMG. It's awful to reload, just like the P90 is. I decided to remain consistent about that. Let's rock this into full auto. All right. Nice aggressive forward stance. Here we go. Yeah, hitting a little high there. Let's give that one more try with a little more pull down. I almost feel like I could be more likely to hit. Come on, go in your place. Oh, it's fighting me now. Maybe I should make this a little easier. I don't know. It's kind of funny like this. There we go. Just had to line it up. Whew. All right. Let's reset the target. New set. Let's try again. All right. We can do this. We can do this. And pull down. We were a little far to the left that time. Okay. Third tries the charm. We got the height right. We did not get the left to right. All right. Here we go. Third tries the charm. Yeah! Managed to get 1/8. So I just love this thing. I cannot wait to get this in Ricky Dicky Random playing Take and Hold. It's, yes, in case you're wondering, you can indeed fire it lined up with the sight, quote, correctly. Why is it easier to fire that way? Where are we hitting? I don't know where we're hitting. I spoke too soon. Let's just... New set. I don't think it's updating for us. There we go. There we go. Let's try this one more time. And... yoink! Okay, a little bit to the left. Yoink! Too high. Oh, we got a 9! That's his 2 9s. I'll just take it. Just gonna mag dump the rest of this. Oh, I love you, Ferryman. You're ridiculous. So there you have it. Some goofy toys for y'all to play with this weekend. I hope you enjoy them. Let's jump out of VR. I want to talk a little bit more just about the background to doing this and what's going on next. Yo! So, what is going on with this? So basically, just a little background. If you're like, what's up with the random indie game collab? So, a number of the developers of this game, I actually met a little over a year and a half ago at Reboot Blue, which was this game dev conference that happened in Dubrovnik. They had obviously been working on this game then. I befriended them at that conference. We've just been like talking shop, updating each other on our various games ever since. And yeah, it's one of those games that I played before they even released their sort of public demo and got super into. I think of the game as being like somewhere between this cross between like The Binding of Isaac and like Escape from Tarkov single player mod, which is like right at the next, as someone who has played like probably all put together like 600 or 700 hours of all of the Binding of Isaac games put together, and who loved Escape from Tarkov right up until like the toxicity just got to be too much and just the time investment. But I love the extraction shooter loop. It's also why I love Zero Sievert just came out on 1.0. It's another single player extraction shooter. Like I love the whole like go through an environment, pick up guns and resources, try to stay alive, craft things, bail, the counter pressure of permadeath. That's a really compelling loop for me. So SULFUR here, has that, but also just has like zany guns. Like I did not pick the 4 weirdest guns in this game. They were just like the 4 that just made the most sense to implement, and that were like ready with assets for me to do this when I got them from them. But there's some truly hilarious and bizarre stuff in there, and the game goes hard. So yeah, I love doing this because it's like, I can't remember who I was explaining this to, like the joy of having like a really realistic firearm simulator, right? And having all of those little nuances and details there of a realistic representation of a gun is that when you physically place that right next to a cartoon logic gun or a cartoon rendered gun, the cartoonish gun feels even more Looney Tunes-ish. It feels more fantastical because you have this conceptual anchor of a realistic gun next to it, and the realistic gun feels more realistic next to the cartoon one because you just, as I said, you have that like the anchoring of the juxtaposition present. And so that's always been like a guiding design logic for me with H3 here, which is that sort of like absurdist combination of deep realism and it's a talking hot dog sort of thing. And so doing these sorts of, collabs where I like airdrop in something cartoony or fantastical. And in this case, like very non-realistically rendered, but like all 4 of these guns like make a type of sense. I don't know if the frame of a revolver could withstand the forces, and even how the like cylinder to breech mating would work without that like blowing up in your hands, but I'm sure someone could make it work. But yeah, so that's why these are present here. And of course, I recommend you go grab SULFUR when it comes out on Monday, not just because it's made by folks who I get along with great, but because it's super fun. And I've already put in like 60 hours of playtime between like the demo that they released and the sort of private full branch release that I've tested a bit for them. And I've been doing that instead of getting more work done, which is usually, I'm a really tough room. Anyone who follows me on socials know I have trouble finding any game to stick to. And that was part of the reason why I wanted to put in something to support their release, is like, it's rare when something catches me enough that I keep, firing it up and playing it. And so I've had a ton of fun with it. And if either of the other sorts of games that I mentioned, or if you just like love games with wacky guns in them, bam, give this a shot. So, anywho, I hope you all have fun this weekend playing around with this. Once I'm actually, the next week will probably just be a devlog because I'm actually going to be out of town starting tomorrow night for most of the week. I've got to go visit my family. Nothing bad, just sort of like when you live thousands of miles away, like you have to schedule things, to get your 1 to 2 visits a year in, and it is time for one of those. So, and then when I get back, this is just so much Meat Miss work to do because it is a Meat Miss year. Well, it's always a Meat Miss year, but it's a Meat Miss Advent calendar year most likely. So I have a lot of work to do to get that done. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Otherwise, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend, and I will see you all soon. Peace.